So, this is probably the best episode in season 2, in my opinion. Well, that's not true, because we had the whole Ryloth thing. But so far, there have been 3 general groups of episodes that have really been highlighted for me. Rookies, back in season 1, pretty much all of the Ryloth stuff, and then this one. Now, this is obviously the beginning of a new arc, but what I mean by that is, if I was to define season 2 in a sentence, Django asked me to do this, I would say that season 2 is the season that had good ideas but never capitalized on them, never did anything with them. Concepts or ideas or characterization that's just kind of left on the wayside. This episode bypasses all of that and actually starts to analyze a little bit of some of its concepts. I mean, yeah, we've got the Jedi, and yeah, we've got the main plot of Boba, and in Boba we get some good characterization for Boba. We can see already that Boba does have a bit of a honorable streak to him. I hesitate to say good, because I don't think Boba is a good person. If anything, I think he is an extremely neutral person. That's always been my take on him. And thus, he is not the kind of person who will kill or hurt or maim as long as he can avoid doing it. He is, in short, a professional. And he's not here to hurt civilians because, A, that would be wrong, and B, that's not his job. If he was hired to go after civilians, well, maybe. So he kind of gets that nice little in-between there. He's not quite good, but he's certainly not evil, hence neutral. We also get more clone stuff. I love the clone stuff. One of the things I will always give the Clone Wars, this show, is its success in making the clones more interesting and really delving into the reality of what it means to have an entire slave race of people who are fighting war for you. We see how the Elder clones kind of automatically have a sort of protectiveness slash... it's hard to explain it because they don't actually view the younger clones as children or as their sons. In fact, if anything, they seem to act as if they are their brothers, which I like, because it kind of shows that they still see them as their brothers, regardless of the fact that they're so much younger. There's that kind of pseudo-equal thing going on. And the one thing that everyone says, multiple people say this, is that the only real difference between the age groups is experience. And I like that, because it's a nice way of demonstrating the obvious. The training is no substitute for experience. Boba is, of course, the only one who actually gets all the shots off, because Boba's had experience. He's actually done all this before. Django was training him on the fly constantly while he was taking care of him, before episode 2 even started. I also like how the kids interact with each other. They've already got their own kind of cliques. They've already got their own kind of interactions and pseudo-elitism going. They've already got their own social structure. I mean, we here in real life have things like money or family lines or jobs or whatever that make us better or worse than other people, and amongst the clones it's what tours of duty you've had or how many kills do you have, etc., etc., that kind of a thing. I like that. I like this variety. I like this fleshing out of the clones. But the one thing that really struck with me most is the idea that the Republic is already preparing for the next war and the next war and the next war, because, well, there might be some other explanation here that I can't remember right now. Please forgive me. I do have a headache right now. But all I can think of is, oh my God, they are actively going out of their way to distribute child soldiers throughout the course of their pre-existing military to have them trained and ready so that when they become of age, they will become just plain soldiers. And if you think about it, there's a lot more reliability of having that kind of a soldier mentality than of having the the fully grown clone. So that you could see some of the sense make there, building in the loyalty, building in the programming, for lack of a better term, and giving them the experience so that they fight better. Now that's not useful now during the Clone Wars, but it'll be useful 10 years from now in whatever war is next. And something about that was just quietly chilling and very engaging and very interesting to me. I love it. Also, I do find it amusing how Boba apparently just is singularly... How do I put this? One of the things I've said before is that the clones, and probably by consequence Django, all have to have something of significance, right? This is what matters to me. This is what's relevant to me. Now, that could apply to a lot of people, but the clones seem to have that way more than others. I've always liked the idea that Boba, even though he's not technically a clone, even though he's a slightly different clone, still nevertheless has that same mentality. And for Boba, it's revenge. I have to get revenge on Mace Windu. This is something that is unequal, and this is a wrong, and therefore I have to correct it. And I like the idea that he's basically not thinking about virtually anything else. I love the concept that Boba hasn't even thought about, okay, I've killed a Jedi. Now what? Right? I love that. And we'll be exploring more of that in the future. So I'm going to go and shut up here. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next time.